shall they be judged by the ice in their veins? What's up, guys? I'm Pencil, and here we are to do a nice little ranking of the 4 Knights of the Babylab by their coldest moments in the entirety of Part 1. Now, of course, there are other cold moments by other characters who happen to be main characters or supporting characters in 4 Knights of the Babylab, and they will be getting their own comprehensive cold ranking video, but I want to tackle the 4 Knights of the Apocalypse, specifically before they make their debut in Part 2, so we have a whole metric of meaty, juicy, cold fire moments from Part 1 to compare to Part 2 when they start to get more feats, more battle mode, stuff like that. But let's not actually waste any more time, and let's hop right into number 4. What's up, guys? That got the pencil here. Fun fact, I do happen to have a pencil, and I also happen to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. And another fun fact, I ain't the only one who's got to have it on him and keep it on him at all times, because there's a certain someone who stay with it, keep it on him, have it on him, will never let it go. We have not seen this weapon, I think, since this chapter. I think we've seen it a little bit after that. But like, it's been years. Not years, plural. It's been at least a year plus since we've seen this weapon. So unfortunately, Gawain does not have it on her and keep it on her at all time. But yes, we have one character at number 4, and it's going to be Gawain. Now here's my thing, right? Gawain suffers from just not that many cold moments due to a lack of screen time. Notably, she had one other moment in this that I was considering putting up there as her coldest moment and putting in contention with, in my opinion, the rest of the night's coldest moments. But the reason I ended up choosing this one over the other one that I was thinking of, which was the Pelgard battle, is because the Pelgard battle has such a harsh turnaround that's not in Gawain's favor, that takes place so quickly after that initial flex on Pelgard, that I'm like, I'm not sure if I can really slide her that dub right there, considering what Pelgard immediately does to her afterwards. But this moment right here has to take it for me for a multitude of reasons. Number 1, it's against a character who I know and love. It's that big old juicy boy, Gawain. I love Gawain. Fun fact about me, he's probably like my 3rd favorite commandment. Like, right behind Zeldris and Gloxini. Like, he's straight up there for me. As a character, I love Big Papa Gawain. And thusly, seeing him come out and start mollywopping Gawain was crazy. Ludicrous. Buku bonkers. This is just after he drops one of the hardest and coldest and most important statements in the series. His power was intense. I know that well after tasting his battle axe. But now the power of chaos has enhanced me. No attack will stop me. Not even his axe. So, Gawain, he's got the chaos ants. He's returned. He's hyped through the roof. I'm like, oh, Lord. Gawain, don't do this. You're fighting a monster, a beast, a demon. Maybe you shouldn't want this. Gawain, you're low-key getting smoked. It doesn't help that the boy Gawain, he starts getting that crazy sauce all up in him, and now I'm actively worried for Gawain. I'm like, no, Gawain, you can't be getting cooked like this. But we see, after Gawain starts giving her the absolute work, Gawain is like, hold on. I may not be Escanor Merlin's kid, but let me show you why I'm Escanor Merlin's kid spiritually. And proceeds to whip out, honestly, one of the best applications of magic in the entire series. Despite only being 67 chapters into the 4 Knights run and over 400 chapters into the 4 Knights / 7 Deadly Sins duology, this right here is cleanly and clearly one of the best uses of magic in the series. The ability to use teleport like this, specifically at this angle, to immediately impale icy, dog. It's so epic. I feel like that's such a stupid word to use this there, but it is so epic to me. And the reason it's my coldest moment for Gawain is just because of how big brain it is. Sure, the main reason it's at the bottom is because she was getting knocked around, and notably, she does not counter his claim that, oh yeah, you can't damage me. She goes out of her way to do it in a unique way, but from using teleportation in a super unique way, one that I don't think we've seen before or since. We have not seen teleportation Durnig since this moment, and we have yet to mention, we haven't seen Lita or the remnant of Rita since this moment. But even still, seeing her use this And then have Gawain even realize what happened? A teleport. You teleported your blade inside me? And then we see, I love, the main reason this gets boosted up to my favorite moment, even over the Pelguard moment, as much as I love Big Papa Pell, it's because Gawain actually gives her respect before she literally tears the man in half. Dog. Once again, in terms of just sheer rawness, in terms of sheer cold, she was so about the business, despite being brutalized, beat up, mollywopped, and smacked up. Remember, right before this, Pelgar taught her a lesson. So, like, legitimately, she's in dire straits, but nah, keeps it on her at all times, pulls it out at the right time, and ports it in the right spot. I love it. And I love the amazing motion of her slashing him straight down the middle and simply tearing him apart. But, of course, you may be wondering, okay, Pencil Man, all this glaze, why is it number 4? Why is it going at the bottom? She doesn't necessarily take the dub solo at the end. It's just a really, really cool moment. Which this is. It's ranking each of the 4 nights' coldest moments. But, like, she doesn't even get to the end of the chapter before this is invalidated. Like, Gawain is just like, oh yeah, BT dubs, cool, you cut me in half, but fun fact, I am a demon. And just proceeds to pull himself back together. If it wasn't for Percy in this moment, I don't think, like, Gawain presumably would have still been able to beat Gawain, probably just the same tactic over and over again, maybe going for like his 7 hearts or something like that. But the fact that Percy had to step in with his mini Percys and come in and clean up for her after the fact, which is admittedly one of Percy's coldest moments, don't get me wrong, but I don't know, at least in my opinion, it takes a little bit away from the moment. It takes the moment off of Gawain. It gives it admittedly to our main character, but I'm still not too sure how much I'm rocking with that. So ultimately, I'm going to have to go Gawain at number 4 for the big IQ play in the coolest way possible. One of the best uses of magic in the entire series, but she's definitely going to need a little bit more cooking in part 2 before I can really put her up there in the upper echelons with the rest of her contemporaries. So let's not waste any more time and let's hop right into number 3. You know I gotta put my boy, my youngest son, my baby boy up there. You know I gotta put respect on his name and you shall know his game. My son Percival. Our main character of 4 Nights of the Ababalaba, the Night of the End. And his moment of standing 10 toes down, unharmed, against his uncle? Question mark, exclamation point. But yes, absolutely. This moment, despite Percy having the most extensive, and I mean the most extensive run of character battles, character interactions, fights, all that, whatever you want to call it, despite Percy having one of the most extensive runs, considering he's the main character and the character we followed throughout the entire series up to this point, up until, you know, the end of part 1, I still don't think there's a moment colder than this, and it's basically his most recent moment before he decides to, bye-bye, it's nice to see you all. I'm going away. So, like, outside of that, this has to be his coldest moment. And there's a couple reasons why. Number 1, Mortlock, before this chapter, or not really before this chapter, but in this chapter especially, gets a whole ton of hype. Not only is Mortlock hyped up because he's important to our main character, being his uncle, or at least what we thought was his uncle at the time. On top of that, we had his whole crew hyping him up. As Rosebank says, Sir Mortlock's skill with a blade surpasses even that of Ironside of the 4 evils. And, like, we know Ironside. We've seen what Ironside's done with a blade. And notably, the way Nakaba built the Demon World training arc, we never got to see if Percival ever beat Ironside. The fractured image of Ironside that was being shown to us through Percival's memories incarnated into Lance. So we had no idea how Percival was going to do. We thought this was crazy, and especially the way the chapter ended off. Before we cut back to this fight, it looked like Percy got hit with 1,000 cross, and we were cooked. We were about to lose the night of death. I was betting on Despair Percy. Other people were betting on Despair Percy. We were hoping for some sort of miracle. Maybe Zaza was going to step in. Somehow, everyone was hoping and worrying for our baby boy. But then he came in, standing on business. Mortlock says, how odd is this? Why hasn't this space been undone? I know that lone strike fell Percival. Even if he survived, he couldn't avoid a fatal... Boom! 10 toes down. Literally, in my opinion, the coldest stance that Percy's had in the entire series. Just right here, right there, bro. Standing 10 toes down. Having his uncle shocked, bamboozled, blown away as he asks, how could you possibly be unhurt? No healing magic may be cast in this space. And would you care to explain this juice on the... It's my own juice. Yo. Percy... one of the characters who consistently, throughout the majority of the series, is consistently being told, bro, you have a skill issue. You've got power, you've got speed, you've got ability, but you just have a raw skill issue, dog. You're not like that. And then we're going to pull up on the best swordsman, presumably the best swordsman that they've encountered at least, and start working him. No magic? No magic, no nothing. Bro's going straight blades. And then for Ironside to pull out the data book again. He's like, fine, I'll show you that I do have it on me. And I keep it on me at all times. And Percy's just like, yeah, but what if you didn't, though? And immediately, dog, look at him stand on it. Look at him. Like, he's literally standing on it. There's business right there. That's what he's standing on in his own dimension. And my favorite thing, the reason this cements itself as the coldest moment for Percy, this is, at least in my opinion, I think this is the only time, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the only time he genuinely straight one-shots his opponent. Like, I know legally speaking he doesn't, because he does slash up Ironside a little bit, but, you know, I'm just going to headcanon that Ironside accidentally hurt himself. Not Ironside. Mortlock accidentally hurt himself by, like, having his blade deflected by Percy here, and then Percy, the moment he got remotely serious, one-tapped his uncle. And by one-tap, I legit mean one-tap. Like, look. Instantly, the dimension falls apart. The moment Percy's done cooking his uncle for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I gotta put respect on his name. He's definitely Himothy with that one. I cannot disrespect Percy's swagger for that, and that's why it's number 3. The main reason it's above Gawain is not only is it against an opponent who we do have, like, genuine understanding of and their abilities and characters are genuinely hyping them up. If you haven't read Seven Deadly Sins, Gawain means nothing to you. But if you have read Seven Deadly Sins, Gawain means a lot. But not only does Gawain immediately get back up with no problem, and it's not a person that attacked Gawain that finishes Gawain off. It's actually Percy who comes in and finishes Gawain off. Then that's why Gawain's at 4, but Percy's at 3 because he did it by himself. He did it against a character with reputation, and he one-tapped him and destroyed his dimension in one of the most unexpected, crazy moments of the series. Only reason it's not higher is just because the coldest moments that are above this one are just too different. Admittedly, they do have my biases because, you know, your boy read the original series. But with that being the case, I have to put respect on my son's name. And I really hope we get to, well, the thing is, I kind of don't want this moment verbatim to be copied again, because that would take away from the uniqueness of it. But this moment in particular is, once again, the hardest Percy moment in the series. One of the best ways that he could have ever cooked in any way, shape, and or form. And honestly, I'm excited to see him come back and whip it up in the kitchen just a little bit more for another cold as ice moment. But let's not waste any more time. Let's hop right into number 2. Y'all know what time it is. You know what time it. You know what time. Yo. I'll say this. This is embarrassing because we are currently on chapter. We're in the 130s now. This happens in chapter 75. And we'll mention 76. But yo. He's just different. Alright. Now, as a person who has been super, amazingly, insanely critical of Tristan, I know this may come as a shock and surprise you. What? You're putting Tristan this high? I thought you didn't like Tristan. And I do. I do like Tristan. I mean, I just kind of want him to cook. I feel like he has so many opportunities that he wastes. But this one right here, this tapped into that early season 1 of Seven Deadly Sins energy. That early Berserk Meliodas energy. The first reveal of Demon Mark and stuff like that. The mystery, the terror, the power, the onslaught. Demon Tristan is just so like that, dog. And here's the thing, right? This kind of takes what both of the previous moments had before and ratchets it up to straight 10 out of 10. Because this Tristan not only perception blitzes Meligon to the point where they don't even realize what happened to Isolde, but this Demon Tristan, faced with the fusion of 2 commandments, Chaos Commandments, who at least based on Galen's own word are much stronger than they ever were before. But this demonic Tristan pulls up and says, "Hey, yo, bro, call Lance. I need him at once." And we see that, It's the fact that Lancelot talks so much smack, only to get instantly removed. He's just on different timing. I hate that he's just on different types of timing. And throughout this entire encounter, the moment he pulls out Demon Mark, he goes from okay, he's a pretty good character, I'm interested to see how he's cooking, to sweet mother of mercy, he's him. Like, I'm telling you, Tristan has some other cold moments. Like, I think Tristan versus Despair Percy is actually a really cool fight, a really good introduction for Tristan. I think Tristan versus EO is actually a really cool fight too, just because it shows his dominance when he actually starts taking things seriously. I even think Tristan versus the Testament Beast is also a really cool battle for Tristan's journey of like self-development and understanding and self-acceptance. All that, fantastic. I don't care though. In terms of sheer straight coolness, there's nothing like it. There's like, the main reason this hits so hard for me is not only because of the hard shift in demeanor from regular Tristan. Like, you know, regular Tristan, he's just a baby boy. He just, look at this man. Look at this man. Look at this. You can tell he's on timing. There's not a smile. There's not anything. And one of the favorite details that I love, he becomes so cold, ruthless, and heartless, and his demon mark looks just like his grandpappy's. He looks just like his granddad, the Demon King, and he carries that demonic king type presence with him as he goes on. Like, we see, and not only does he just eviscerate Melascula, the human head, he ripped it off, flipped it, and kicked it out of existence. One of the most disrespectful displays ever. But not only that, we see the other Melascula be like, alright, we're gonna have to jump this man. And we see him stand there, unabated, unamused, as the countless souls of the undead come to tear him apart. And he just flexes them off. He just flexes them off. There's no draw of a sword. There's no, like, magic or... No, he just straight... Boom! And he snaps the souls of the undead, trying to drag him down into the underworld. They're trying to take bro to purgatory. They're trying to give him purgatory training, and he said no. Dog, he's just on different timing. He's on different timing. What can I say? And the thing is, there's nothing here that can be chalked up to anything else. Nothing else here. Oh, Amalgam was a little bit weakened. Okay, whatever. We literally see him rip her limb from limb. Or rip them limb from limb. Gallon kind of doesn't get much personality. It's mostly Melascula leading the Melagallon fusion. But still, the fact that he casually tears it apart. And the thing that makes it extra cold to me, the thing that takes it from, okay, this is just cool on a visuals front, to, oh, nah, this is definitely one of the coldest moments in the series. Second best for a reason. I love how he's moving here. Initially, when the chapters first came out, I kind of didn't like that he spoke. I kind of wish he was just dead silent Terminator type beat, but I love how Melascula, just in the shock and horror of the power of this impure creature, this Nephilim, is like, why did you say you'd stop? And Tristan is just like, I warned you, I told you, I can't control myself when this occurs. And he just eviscerates it, tears it limb from limb. This stronger than ever fusion of two commandments, torn apart with ease, eviscerated, turned to nothing, reduced to dust, literally fodderized by demonic Tristan. And this hits different for the same reason the first two do, but on a different level. I know Melascula. I know Gallon. I know Chaos Melascula. I know Chaos Gallon. I know their fusion. Not really. But like, I do understand their fusion. That level of power, way different. Once again, Ironside may actually be stronger. Same thing with Mortlock. But at least I know for a fact the kind of power that the commandments were on. So to see Tristan tear through them effortlessly with nothing but the darkness. Oh, it's just so clean. It's so clean to the point where I'll admit he just hasn't hit the same peak since on a cool level. There have been better character moments for Tristan. This is obviously like, it's a moment that's meant to be cool for us as a reader, but like, it's not necessarily meant to be cool for the characters. Like, you see him freaking out, calling Lance, all this stuff like that. So like, he's definitely fully lost in the character sense, but on a sheer coolness level for just a warrior, on a reading level, everything I've been wanting from a demonic goddess hybrid, infused with the purest power of darkness from the strongest demon that ever existed. It's all straight gas. But of course, it's not number one. You know what time it is. Let's hop right into number one. Was it going to be anything else? Was it going, like, here's the thing, even if you don't know me, if this is the first video you've ever seen of me, you just happen to stumble across it, like, this thumbnail looks nice. If you don't know me, and you read Four Knights of the Apocalypse, and you had to think of just straight coldest moments for the characters, is there anything colder? Is there anything frostier? Is there anything that has the ice not just coursing through his veins, but your... This man, Lance, pulled up on the final villain and was like, hold on, let me put in my work real quick. And no, the reason this goes so hard, so heavy, so crazy to me, is look at what the final villain gets pulled up on. The final villain pulls up, and our main character, schmacked. We don't even see the motion, just annihilated. What happens when the final villain pulls up? Tristan, crazy. Different, nothing. Worthless. Fodder. But what does Lance do? Pulls up when the final villain pulls up. Tears his teeth out. And take everything I said about the previous ones, ratchet it up to 11. Ratchet it up straight to 11. Straight through the moon. He literally bullies Arthur. Once again, if we're just talking straight cold moments, unexpected stuff, for the longest time, this is the beauty of me having all the reviews on the show. You can check. For the longest time, I knew Lance was strong. I expected him to be strong. I expected him to be stronger than Demon Tristan. I expected crazy numbers. But if you told me before chapter 79 came out that I'd witness Lancelot of the Seven Deadly Sins bullying Arthur, look, he has him screaming. I know, it's base Arthur, but base Arthur, even in base, should scale above everything we've seen so far. Above fusion commandments, above Warlock, above an individual chaos commandment. He's just on a different... Once again, this is the final villain, y'all. This is the final villain. You read Seven Deadly Sins. This is Chaos King Arthur. You know what kind of timing this guy's supposed to be on. This is him. This is literally Timothy. And he's getting bullied, abused, moved... He's having his teeth torn out. Once again, by casual... Look at this man's face. He's just bored. He's absolutely mollywopping the King of Chaos like it's your average Tuesday. Like, how is this man not supposed to be different? He's different in every single way, shape, and form. And the thing is, the reason this has to be above all other things, the reason this stands unrivaled beyond anything else, is because of the disrespect. The blatant disrespect. It's the insane level of disrespect that makes this the coldest moment. And probably in the entire series for me, up to this point. Maybe not, if we include Seven Deadly Sins, there's some cold moments in there. But at least for the sequel series, there's been nothing colder than this. Taking the final villain, after they talk all this smack about all the beauty and ignorance of youth. Oh, youth. So ignorant, so cruel, and so sweet. All that. Just swinging around a sacred weapon in Carwanon just to step on his chest. To step on his chest. And it doesn't even... That's the thing. It doesn't even stop. This whole run, this whole 2-chapter run, we leap into chapter 80. We see Lance getting knocked around. Oh no, Chaos. Chaos is different. Oh no, Chaos has leaped out. This must... Wait, Lance, you're okay? Lance, you took no... Wait, Lance... Wait, Lance, you've been... Wait, hold on, you've been fighting... Hold on, wait, Lance, you switched hands? Wait. I'm sorry. What reaction does this garner from the King of Chaos? From the top one? The number one op? The final villain? What kind of reaction is Lance just switching hands? Lighting up a little bit of that ore. Letting a little bit of the sauce out. I'm sorry, what reaction is this? Listen. Y'all. He had the King of Chaos shaking in his boots. His timbers were shivered. Chaos was out. Bro was so strong. He had Chaos fearing for Arthur's life. Arthur literally says, "You see, Chaos was merely acting on instinct to protect its vessel. If I perish, it would lose its place in the world. Think of it as a kind of mindless will, separate from my own. That's why not even Lancelot can read its moves." Dog. Lance was styling on the final villain so hard that the literal deity of the verse was like, wait a second, he could get got. Let me pull one out real quick. How crazy is... Like, I'm sorry, it's just Buku, it's just different. It's legit just different. There's nothing else comes close to this. No other character here is boxed the final villain on even terms. No other character here forced the final villain to be like, oh, whoa, wait a second. Let me let my transcendent self come out and defend me from this dangerous creature. No one else had Arthur looking like this. He was shuddering. And like, I know. Arthur's still most likely stronger. You can definitely argue Arthur was nerfed here. You can do this, you can do that. But all that does is make the rest of the night seem less impressive. Demon Mark Tristan, knocked away, a nuisance, something that got in the way and got Mel hurt. Percival, not even a thought. Once again, I want you to look at Percival here. I want you to see what happened when Percival pulled up. He got smacked and we couldn't even see it. That's how fast it was. Gawain wasn't even a factor here anymore. But who was more than a factor? Who had the King of Chaos shaking in their boots? Who decided that they were going to have the coldest moment in part 1 and possibly, unless he cooked something crazy in part 2, even with the battle with Nanashi, even with his introduction against Fittich, even against the demons, even everything he's done to this point, guarding the Albion, all that, Lance has not had a colder moment. He was just hitting. And all the 4 nights have been hit. Let me say that clearly. Everyone's been going crazy. So I'm so excited for all of their runs in part 2. However, this was my list of the 4 nights in their coldest moments in part 1. What do you guys have? Do you have other cold moments for the nights that you think should have been on this list instead? Do you have your own unique ranking of said cold moments? Please let me know all that and more in the comment section down below. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, please leave ice in my veins in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you hit that little notification bell so you do not miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do happen to have a Patreon down below where you can support me for as low as $1 a month to get things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. You can also now become a member to the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Some of those perks include the live reaction to the very next chapter of 4 Nights of the Apocalypse. Now, thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is Dago the Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our $3 members, Recliner Plays, Red Wolf 4765, Greyhound, and Akid's Void. And I'd like to give another thank you to our $5 patrons, Victor, Sean, Midnight Gemlord, Kevin, Demix LND, and Igneal. And I'd like to give a chunky old thank you to our $7 member, Autumn's Morning Lazo. And I'd like to give another chunka thank you to our $10 patrons, Robbie Uchio, Joaquin, Idemokai, and China Doll 09. I'd like to give a tractor thank you to our $25 member, Alex Ice Rose. I'd like to give another giga gargantuan thank you to our $25 patron, Calvin Elder.